So I applied to the top 5 or 6 business schools, which included Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, I believe Chicago, and Kellogg, and maybe Columbia. I my top choices were literally I think either Wharton, Stanford, or Harvard, and ultimately I got into two of them. Decided to go with Wharton because when I was applying for business school, and again I think this ends up being a fairly personal choice depending on one, your professional needs, like what you're really looking to get out of business school. So the coursework is structured depending on the university, obviously, but I'll give you an example here. So at Wharton, where I was doing my MBA, I was basically required to do about a year's worth of required core curriculum work, which basically includes courses in marketing, finance, strategy, management, etc. US universities, colleges are all tailored to create a well-rounded individual. So the emphasis is never purely on academics. So obviously as an individual you can choose to say, for me academics is the most important thing, so I'll spend the most amount of time on academics. But the education system, the college system is geared towards well-rounded individuals, which means that you'd spend a lot of time as part of sports teams, as part of debate teams, as part of improv comedy groups. Again, I believe this varies by university. At Penn, at the University of Pennsylvania, for example, there's off-campus housing and there's on-campus housing. On-campus housing basically consists of dorms that the University of Pennsylvania owns and runs. These are usually very much part of the campus or very close to campus, whereas there are off-campus housing options that can be close to campus but also far from campus. What you'll find is that Penn's campus is generally safe because there is a lot of on-campus surveillance and on-campus police that makes sure that students are safe and students are getting to wherever they need to get to safely. Whether that's true of all universities, I cannot say. Some universities you'll find are in safer areas, some universities you'll find are inherently in slightly more dangerous areas where you'll have to exercise more caution. So I would say for places to visit in the US, and if it's especially your first time in the US, I would say you definitely have to go to New York City. That's definitely a must, especially if you're on the East Coast, which is mainly the larger cities there, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and Washington DC on the Northeast. The highway system in the US is amazing, especially if you compare it to some countries, including India. And so I would really say if you are someone who likes driving, road trips are a great option for you to go travel to places. Of course, you get to see a lot more of the country as you travel via car. So the culture in the US, I think the biggest thing that stands out is the diversity of countries, ethnicities, nationalities, kinds of people, socioeconomic diversity. The whole range of diversity, as you can imagine it, I think exists in the US more than in any other country in the world that at least I've been to and lived in. And I've lived in a few countries. I've lived in the UK, I've lived in China, India obviously, even Singapore. And I find the US to be, I think, the most vibrant mix of people in the world today in one place. And I would encourage anyone who goes to the US to take advantage of that, to not remain constricted to your own particular nationality or your own close group of friends, but to really forge friendships across cultures, across nationalities, and also across interests. What you also find is students at an MBA program like Wharton are there to have a great time also. a lot of these people have worked very hard prior to Wharton in their professional lives and see the MBA also as a time when they can unwind a little, when they can relax a little. So often you'll find that the culture of a particular school, especially business school, is revolves around having fun and having a good time and building friendships. Philadelphia, Boston, New York and DC, all the major cities, you'll find that they have a wide range of cuisines and restaurants really representing all parts of the world. In fact, you'll find the diversity of cuisines that you'll find in the US is way beyond what you'll find in even a city like Bombay or Delhi. So you'll really be spoiled for choice in most major cities in the US. If you eat out all the time, it does get expensive and the cash does start to go out faster than it's coming in. So I would say learn to cook basic things like pasta. Of course, there's the long-time Indian favorite of Maggi noodles and stuff, but I would say learn the basics if you don't know them already. But otherwise, eating out is in fact more of a experience there than it is anywhere else that I've seen. Studying in the US really helps you shape yourself as a person, as an individual. You know, looking back, I had the option of studying in India for my undergraduate as well and for business school, and both times I made the decision to do it in the US, and I don't regret that one bit because I look back at it, and while more India experience would have been helpful once I moved back to India, I think the basics and the fundamentals that have gotten instilled in me, both from a business perspective, an intellectual perspective, and also in terms of just getting things done, a work ethic perspective, I think are very valuable and will remain valuable for the rest of my career.